messages, though, for the Cubans for Trump. Actually, for all Latinos for Trump. The Supreme Court just revoked the legal status of 500,000 people from like Cuba, Haiti, Venezuela, I think, and then somewhere else. So you guys better start packing your shit because they're coming after you. They don't care that you voted for them. They never cared about you in the first place, dog. We tried to tell you this shit, but you didn't listen. So now they're coming after you. Supreme Court just ruled on it. You guys better start packing because they're going to either leave on your own terms now at this point, or they're going to come after you. You guys are in danger. And you voted for it. That's the crazy
What's up, beautiful people? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Thank you for stopping by, supporting your girl on this channel. So guys, in today's video, all credits goes to the creators in those videos. So guys, the Supreme Court just ruled that nearly 500,000 Cuban immigrants are no longer protected from deportation. Guys, let that sink in. 500,000 people gone just like that. Let's see what those people have to say.
I bet Cubans for Trump hate to see my fat ass coming, but you knew I was coming. You knew I would not let 24 hours pass before I would get on here and have my fucking say. 530,000 Cuban, Haitian, and Venezuelan refugees have got to get the fuck up out of here. Their refugee status has been canceled. But remember that one time when that black lady was running for president and she tried to tell your motherfucking asses? And you didn't listen. You were singing, I will vote for Donald Trump. Remember that? We tried to warn you. Now the time is up. TikTok, you got to get the fuck up out of here. And nobody's sorry for you. You thought because your skin was just a tad bit lighter than the other Latinos that you were the chosen ones and you were special. You thought you would be able to stay. You were different. You're not. You're not. And we tried to warn you. Kamala tried to warn you. Now, if Kamala was president, you could have probably stayed, but you didn't want her as president. You proudly would vote for Donald Trump, and you probably still would. So get the fuck up out of here.
Breaking news, because this just happened a couple hours ago. The Supreme Court ruled, and it is going to allow Trump and his administration to strip the humanitarian parole of 500,000 people from 4 countries. A protection that was in place to keep them from being deported is being stripped, and it is going to result in at least 500,000 people being deported who come from 4 countries. Do you want to guess what one of those countries is? The very first one listed? Cuba. Donald Trump and his administration are revoking the protection of thousands of Cubans. Without that protection, those Cubans do not have legal asylum in the United States. And the Trump administration is going to deport thousands of Cubans and send them back to Cuba. They told you that Barack Obama was Fidel. They told you that Hillary Clinton was Fidel. They told you that Bernie Sanders was Fidel. They told you that Joe Biden was Fidel. They told you that Kamala Harris was Fidel. And you believed them. And now, Donald Trump, who needed your vote to get elected, is going to deport Cubans back to Cuba. Myself and others said this would happen, but I'm not here to say I told you so. I'm not here to celebrate this. My heart is broken. I'm a white boy, but I'm from Florida, and I have spent so much of my life around wonderful Cuban people. I have fallen in love with your food and your music and your culture. And then I watched a political party in my country weaponize very legitimate, real fears that you have and lie to you and tell you that if you didn't vote for them, what happened in Cuba would happen to you here. And you did. And now they're sending some of you back to that place because they only cared about your vote and they don't actually care about you.
Oh guys, here's the tea. So for many years, Cubans in the United States were living under a kind of, in quotes, safe zone, right? Not citizens, they are not green card holders, but they are protected from deportation, right? Due to the US-Cuba relations. Okay, so now that protection is gone, okay? Because the Supreme Court ruled that the US government, I repeat, the US government can now revoke parole and temporary protected status, TPS, for Cubans who were allowed to stay temporarily. Okay, so guys, this includes people that came after the end of the, in quotes, wet foot, dry foot, right? They got temporary release and never adjusted status, right? Because parole, I mean, it basically means that you're allowed in, right? Not permanently, anything can still happen, but just at the government's discretion. But now the court is saying the government has the right to take that back. No trial, no appeal, no warning, taking that back. And guys, we remember who these people voted for, right? Because it looks like a case of FAFO.
A pro-Trump Cuban rapper is about to be deported, and he's been told by the administration that he has less than 30 days to pack his bags. The rapper's name is El Funky, and I'll read what he posted on Instagram just recently. He wrote, "I have 30 days to leave the country or I will be deported. I ask all my Cuban brothers who know my anti-communist trajectory and the congressmen of this country that more than ever, I need your support today." This is a really crazy story, so buckle up, and remember to add the Midas Touch podcast right now on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. As this article from Politico notes, El Funky fled Cuba to reside in Miami, and although he was previously championed by Cuban politicians Marco Rubio and Mario Diaz-Balart, the two have not spoken publicly on the rapper's behalf, but the possibility of deportation has not changed El Funky's stance on Trump, despite him not being able to legally vote. The rapper has previously stated, "If I could vote, I would have voted for Trump. He's the strongest president when it comes to Cuba." Earlier this month, U.S. immigration authorities denied El Funky's residency application under the 1966 Cuban Adjustment Act. And if he is indeed deported back to Cuba, he faces likely imprisonment there because his music helped fuel the largest anti-government protests in Cuba in decades. And despite that, let me remind you once again, he still supports Trump.
Mi gente. I haven't done one of these in a while. Between the Cuban Adjustment Act and then when they started, when they took away their refugee status, I came on here and I talked about it again and I kind of make fun of them. But anyway, here's another one for the record. Cuban Americans take front and fucking center. Cubans for Trump. Front and fucking center. Let's talk about it, because I know you don't want to talk about it now, right? Now you're avoiding me at all fucking costs, right? And I think it's funny, but in the last fucking week, this administration has gone after you super hard. Super hard. Even those that have been in the country for a fucking while are getting detained and being threatened to be fucking deported. And he is coming after you. There goes the fucking articles. Because I know you're going to say I'm lying. But I'm not lying. And if it hasn't happened to you yet, it's just a matter of fucking time. Once he revoked your refugee status for you, Haitians and Venezuelans, right? Now you don't have the protections and that your ass is voted for, right? Do you remember all the videos? Your votes, voy a votar por Donald Trump. Right? Remember that? Remember that? Remember how many of you came to my page to talk shit? Who's fucking laughing now? Who's fucking laughing now? Do you think this would have taught you a lesson for midterms? Do you think it's going to teach you a lesson for 2028? I fucking doubt it. I doubt it. But I hope it does. I told you so. Again, I warned you. Now, here's the funniest thing about this video. This is the guy they call El Funky, and I don't even know who the fuck he is. But as of a few days ago, he was being threatened to be deported. And now, I'm not sure how he got out of it. But look at him. Does he fucking even look like he would qualify to be in the United States under this fucking administration? I think not. He should have known better. But sure enough, I think because he thought he was famous, Trump was going to accept him. And what did he say at your own town hall meeting? I only want you for your vote. Now you see how that works, right? But if somebody knows El Funky, send it to him, right? Because I don't even know who the fuck he is. But good for your ass. Good for your ass. Maybe you'll wake up now. Maybe all of you will wake up now and stop being a part of that colorism that makes you think the color of your skin makes you better than the rest of us fucking Latinos. Who's laughing now? Cubans for Trump.
I just heard the news about the humanitarian protection being canceled. I hate that for the Nicaraguans, Venezuelans, and the Haitians. I love y'all. I'm from Fort Pierce. I love y'all to pieces, and I rock with y'all. Baby, whatever you need me to do, you let me know what I can do to help. But them Cubans from Miami, y'all can get the fuck out of here. You ain't never heard me talk about going to Miami to visit. All my family from that area is gone from Miami. The only time I go down there is to shop and to eat. I don't fuck around with South Beach. I don't fuck around with Miami Cubans. They turn Florida red. They racist. And I tell every group of young kids, do not go down there supporting their business because they don't fuck around with y'all. They don't like us. Talking about Latins for Trump. Look what he, it couldn't have happened to a better group of people. Fuck y'all, get the fuck on. I'm sorry, not
So
sorry.
all the Cubans for Trump down in Florida and everywhere else. Trump just had the Supreme Court revoke your immunity. Thousands of you will now be deported, along with several other countries' immigrants. But Trump has literally, first on the list, Cubans. Cubans will be deported because he's taking away your protections that you had because you came from a terrible situation to come live here in the United States where it's wonderful, but you couldn't get away from your communist habits and everything. So you came over here to bring those communist habits and follow the orange crap stain. Yeah, he took them all away, baby. You better start packing your stuff because Cubans for Trump are now going to be Cubans for Castro's son? I don't know. Who's ruling that communist country now? Will it be better for you when you get back? Will he send you back on the same boats you built to get back over here? Because we got to save money. That's what Doge is for. We can't fly you back with military planes.
Did you know that Cuban deportees, especially the ones that are political dissidents and the ones seeking asylum in the U.S., face a significant risk of torture when they come back to Cuba? So when we ask ourselves, when will Latinos for Trump open their eyes, specifically the Cuban ones? The answer is they never will. And there's no better example than the Cuban for Trump than El Funky. He's a Cuban rapper that's currently facing deportation and possible imprisonment in Cuba since his music helped fuel anti-government protests in Cuba. Someone that's been really silent about this case is self-hating Marco Rubio, a Cuban himself. It's a perfect illustration of how much Marco Rubio has changed up during the Trump presidency. Even just a year ago, I'm sure Marco Rubio would have been the loudest person about this case. It's also a crazy example of how much Trump has changed up about Cuban immigration policies. For decades, the U.S. has rolled out the red carpet for Cubans, despite Trump refusing to help these Cubans who have overwhelmingly voted for him. They are still very much pro-Trump, including the rapper El Funky. Talk about fucking around and never finding
So
out.
this thing affects 500,000 Cuban nationals, and many of them have been here for years, right? Working, raising their families, having children, paying taxes, right? Emphasis on that. And some even voted for who they said would protect them. And now they're at risk of being detained by ICE and put on the deportation flight. And trust me, many of them are scared, right? Some of them are angry. But these are the same people because a good number of them were part of the Cubans for Trump crowd. And you guys remember that song now? No, 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 no. Because they supported the very policies that pushed for stronger deportation rules. And now they are learning that the color of your skin, right, doesn't mean you'll be exempted from deportation. Guys, This is just a wake-up call to know that temporary status is not permanent, right? And political loyalty does not protect you from ICE. Guys, I need to know what you think about this in the comment section. If you have found value in this video, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And I'll see you in my next video. Please stay safe. Mental health is important. Ciao.